Ikra, Jatin, Nima, Nishat, Sai, Surya. I remember speaking to all of you guys. All right. And my name is Sudesh Anand, and I'm the founder of Leadtecno and principal consultant over here. Welcome to ServiceNow Business Analyst Bootcamp, guys. And I want to invite you all for the first session. And I'm sure some of you would have seen our webinar and all this good stuff. But literally, we are starting today. Okay, so without delay, I just want to ask Mr. Nishant to introduce himself, and we want to start the session. I do want to tell you, if you want to know more about our program, you definitely want to visit our webinar. This is not a webinar, this is the first day. So we're not going through the webinar kind of details. We are really jumping into the session today. And the phase one is we are training you on business analysis, and phase two is ServiceNow. And this program is going to go for 2.5 to 3 months, 3 days of sessions, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It will go all the way till 10 p.m. Okay, so you need to make yourself available. And if you're coming here, I know this is very important for you, and we are very invested in you. I do want to tell you, first 3 sessions are complimentary. As I said, in the last minute, we decided to give that so that some of you can come and see and decide for yourself. It's very important for you to choose your partner who can help you transition to this wonderful career. There's a great demand for business analysts with specialization, and today's ServiceNow technology is in boom, and we're going to continue to talk more on that. And if you're, I recommend you to attend all the 3 complimentary sessions. Continue to come in and keep talking to me, get to learn more about this program, and your chances of getting into ServiceNow BA is 100% with our mentorship and support. With that, Nishant, you can take over. Give us the introduction, give us introduction about you, and show us the roadmap, and you can start the program. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Sudesh. So let me share my screen. I'll have a quick run of.
I'll make you the host.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
Sure.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Mosh.
Mo meeting online. Máa pè tí bá ṣe tán.
This training program has these phases. This is it is divided into these 5 phases, which starting 3 phases are very important. Which first we would I would be taking you through the journey of what exactly is a BA. So here we will be covering BA fundamentals. What are the roles and responsibilities? What exactly you will be doing? I know what all different methods you will be using. So that we will cover here in our phase 1, BA fundamentals. Then we move to the ServiceNow part. So first part is your functional as a BA related, and then second and third part. If I talk about second part, it is about ServiceNow, as in how in ServiceNow administration work, right? How you work there as an admin. These second and third phases are deep dive. First on the admin part, and then third, which is your ServiceNow core module. So ServiceNow started with ITSM only. Then it flourished into different modules like CSM, HRSD, and you name it. They must be having that module. For a single person to have knowledge on all the modules is not possible. So we always have your module specific ServiceNow consultant. So we will start with ITSM. We will do a deep dive. Once you have understanding on ITSM, it is very easy for you to understand any other part in ServiceNow. Then we will be doing agile development in ITBA. Agile development, you will be from here onwards, 4th, 5th, 6th, you will be connecting the dots, what we have covered in first, second, and third. This is more about how do you take the requirements, like you have discussed, that we need to work on this requirement. So where exactly in ServiceNow you are going to record those requirements in the form of user stories, use cases, right? Epics, themes. So you will learn all of these words in ITBM, and also I will be covering them in BA fundamentals. Then we will be doing an overview of HRSD. Okay, so HRSD is other module wherein we will be doing an overview. This is like an simulation exercise for you, or a simulation sessions wherein tomorrow if you have to work on the any new module, you know how to approach it. So I will be showing what is my approach and similar approach, or maybe you can define your approach as per your understanding. And tomorrow, if you're new module, so you can approach in the same way. Then in sixth phase is where you will be seeing everything. Like tomorrow you are into a project, right? What exactly you will be doing? What all questions you can face? What all scenarios can be there? It will be a more of an Q&A wherein if you have any doubt, or maybe I will be explaining what all you will be doing, and then you can ask your questions. What exactly you have questions? Like some would be having question like, what will I do on the very first day when I will be in the job? So I'll explain you on the very first day what you will be doing. After 1 month, what you will be doing, what all stakeholders will be there, right? This is all we will be covering in this session. And the last part is your certifications and interview preparations, wherein I will be sharing how you're going for a certification exam, where you will be registering it, and we'll be sharing question bank as well, which you can refer for certification preparation. And then interview prep, what all questions you can expect. There will be a question guide on interview as well, question bank for interview. So both of them will be covered. I will be sharing how you're going to answer, what all you can expect, what are the phases of a simple interview, and what other things you can expect, like they can give you some assignment, and all of those will be covered here. So this is what the entire roadmap of our training would be, right? So after we have done these training, you would be ready for entry level BA and ServiceNow BA roles, right? You can apply for ServiceNow BA specific roles. Apart from this, when we are covering admin, so you will be having a good knowledge on the admin part as well, right? And you will be having hands-on experience, and that we will be doing demos. I will be giving you assignments wherein you will have to perform those assignments. You will understand how exactly anything work here. So you will be upskilling both on the generic BA and towards service of focused BA. Then, as I mentioned, that we will be covering certifications preparation. So with this, you will be able to crack your CSA exam, which will be a star point in your CV. When you go for an interview, they know that you are a person who has a credential of CSA, you are certified, you have knowledge of ServiceNow, and you are a perfect fit for ServiceNow BA job, right? And job readiness, once you crack a job, you have received an offer letter. So in the very first day, very first month, when you're going to job, what all you can expect is will be covered in this training. As I mentioned that all of those training, all of those sessions which we are having in these phases, we will be doing questions which are relevant to that particular topic, and what all scenarios you can expect in the project, in interview, what are the best practices that you will be adopting as a BA, and how you're going to communicate with the client, have a meeting with the client, and how to take those requirements. This all will be covered here in this phases of the training. Okay, so with this, I would like to start with our phase one, which is business analyst fundamentals. Are we ready for our phase one?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I see some
Outcome,
hand
yeah.
raised. Okay, I think there is. Yes, Ikra, your question?
Yeah, hi. I just have one question. So basically, will you be preparing us for like mock interviews as well if we get an interview after applying for jobs?
Sudhir, would you like to take that question?
Sorry, come again.
Yeah, hi Sadish. Just asking, will you also be helping or us with mock interviews, etc.
Yeah,
You apply
yeah.
for?
Yes, so we will be helping you with mock interviews. You will be given projects, interview questions, ServiceNow based interview questions, business analyst based interview questions, and you will need to pass our mock interviews with by at least 80%. Okay, if you can pass our mock interviews, you'll be able to pass all the real world interviews. Don't see an issue. Okay,
Sounds good. Thank you, Sadish.
welcome. Keep your questions to the end, guys. Let's go with the flow, and we will have the Q&A session in the end. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sudesh. So I think we are excited for phase one business analyst fundamentals. It is going to be a wonderful experience. It is not just a training, it is an experiential training. As in, I will be sharing my experience. So you will be living, this training that, yes, I am doing the first training, I'm doing first session, second session, third session. This is exactly I can expect in my project when I will be, working as a ServiceNow BA. So consider from today onwards, you are a ServiceNow BA, and these are your like you are learning. Like if I talk about this is what we are covering today, in not today, but in this phase, you will be and you will be getting the information on BA. What is the roles and responsibilities? What is the project life cycle? What is Agile and Scrum fundamentals? How do you deal with the stakeholders? How do you deal with the requirements? How exactly you're going to gather those requirements? How do you write user stories, right? How do you prepare user stories? And there will be certain tools which you will have to understand, you will have to learn, right? We will be doing a quick demo on all of those tools, on how do you write stories, how do you create a process diagram. So we will be doing all of those exercise, all of those assignments. So consider all of these things at one point or other point will be there in your project, right? It's not just a just a curriculum wherein you just follow and it might not be useful. I can guarantee you almost 90 to 95% you will be facing or you will be doing these activities in your project. So it is very important for you to understand this. Okay, so I'll start with the first class, that is about BA roles and responsibilities. So first, we would like to understand what exactly is a BA, right? If I tell you in a very simple term, um, a business analyst is the bridge between, there are two ends. One is your business side, who exactly will be telling you the requirements, like what exactly the problems they are facing, and what exactly they want to improve uh, anything in the environment. Then there is a technical side. Now you are standing in between these two ends, and you would like to come, you would be a bridge. So you will be understanding the business language and passing it on to the technical solution team so that they can work on it, they can provide the solution, they can give you the end product, right? So the BA is someone who will help organization to deliver values by identifying the problems of the business when they're communicating with the business. They will be gathering requirement, what exactly we would like to do or how exactly we are going to improve the process. And then with the technical teams, they will be building a solution. The solution will be able to cater the requirement of the client. Okay. Now, as a BA, this I want to highlight specifically that you do not code. You will not be involved in coding until unless you are a curious soul who would like to explore how coding works, right? If I talk about any a regular BA or ServiceNow business analyst, you are not supposed to do any coding. but you need to ensure that whatever we are developing, whatever your technical team is building, is aligned with the needs of business, right? Business will tell you that I want, if I will be giving you an example so we'll understand how these things work. Okay. So if business tells you that, I want a process, this should work like this is my first step, this is my second step, and then I have a third step. So what you want to do is you will be creating a requirement on it and you will be passing it on to a technical team. Technical team will create that solution, and now when the solution is created, you exactly want to replicate whatever the business has mentioned, that my first step is this, second step is this, and then I have a third step. So you just validate after the solution is prepared, are those steps being covered or not. So that is exactly what you want to do as a BA. And if I talk about, a BA simply translates the language of business into a language that developers can understand. And at the same time, what developers has developed, you will have to, pass it on to the business end as well, in case it is required. So, while going through this training, I will be using my Excel now and then, wherein I will be explaining you how everything works, right? So if I talk about a BA, so this is you, or I will call it a ServiceNow BA, okay? And I will make it a green, this one, and this is my client side who will be giving me the requirements, and this is my technical side which will be comprising of developers. We will be having testers. There will be an architect, right? Please bear with my spellings. So this is my client side and technical team. I will make this. Okay. So client will give you the requirements and technical team will build the solution on it. This, whatever the client is mentioning and whatever this person is doing is in technical teams, BA will be the center of universe for this entire, if I call it, it will be your simple project. That is how a project is started, right? This is a project. I have a client, I have a technical team, and then I am sitting or standing in between these two ends, and I'm helping them build a solution, deliver values. So this is what a ServiceNow BA will do. We will have more stakeholders, more information around it that we will be covering in our session, which is specifically for stakeholder management. On a very high level, this is what ServiceNow BA will be doing in a project. Okay, that is my uh, business analyst. What is a business analyst, right? Then second is, what are my core responsibilities as a BA? So you would first want to understand the business needs, their challenges. If I come here, let me simply come here. Okay, now this will work. So on the client side, how the client will be giving you the requirements? They will be telling you what are their needs. They will be telling you what are their challenges. Okay. ServiceNow BA will be vouching whatever the client is mentioning. Okay. Now, first ServiceNow BA will be understanding what exactly how they are working today. Because for you to create a solution, first you need to understand what exactly the solution is there today. What is there? And this is what we call as is. So you need to remember this term, as is. So whenever you're going on a meeting or when you were discussing with a client, understand their as is process. As is means how they are, what is their current mode of operation, how they are working today. Okay. So if you understand how they're working today, then only you can ask, now tell me what exactly are your challenges? What are your pain points? Based on that, ask them what do you want in your to be state? To be state is your, we call it, this is called as is your CMO, current mode of operation, and to be is your FMO. FMO is your future state of operation. How do you want to operate in future? Once you understand what they want to improve, what would the process would be in future, then you will be understanding, how you're going to create a solution, or how you're going to define the process. So this is your second responsibility, that you need to understand their as is process, you need to understand their to be process. Then there are certain requirements, there are certain deliverables that you will have to provide, that you will be writing BRD, you will be writing FRD, you will be writing user stories, you will be providing training materials. So we will be covering what are the documentation requirements in the upcoming session. But for now, BRD is your business requirement document. What exactly is the requirement of business? FRD is your functional requirement, how functionally that particular process will work. And user stories are for developers. So user stories are, if I tell you, BRD and then FRD and user stories. Okay. So BRD is your business requirement document. FRD is functional requirement document. And then user stories are small component of a requirement. Requirement for developers. We will be understanding how user stories work and everything. Consider that there is a requirement. Suppose this is your requirement, right? And now I can have user stories like this is my first user story, this is my second user story, and this is my third user stories. Let's make it this. Okay, now developer, it is very difficult that, if you give all the information to developer, it will be very easy for him or her to work on the entire project. So what you do, you always break your requirements into smaller pieces. And then you build your requirements, pieces by pieces. This is simply like building a home. If when you build a home and you need bricks, right? Small bricks, and then you stack it and then you make your home. Similarly, is a requirement. So user stories are your bricks. So we will understand how to write BRD, what are the components of BRD, and then what are the how to write a user story, what exactly is a user story. Okay. So then second part, as I mentioned, that you need to understand their documentation requirements and then coordination. As I mentioned, that you are the bridge between these two ends, developers as a development team and then client team. But there are more stakeholders that you will get to know as and when we will be covering the sessions on stakeholder management. Like there can be leadership team, there can be delivery team. We will get to know this particular in the project. It is not just two end. There will be one end here, one end here, one end here as well, one end here as well. You will get to know more about the different stakeholders and how you're going to deal with the stakeholders. So we'll cover that. And then once solution is built, like developers are saying that, I have created I've created the project and it is ready to be tested. Then you would want to validate. As I mentioned, that, in the previous, that once the solution is built, you would like to validate whether the solution is working as per the requirement or not. So this is where validation solution works, right? If I tell you a very simple example, how it works, or maybe I can code this example in the next slide. But just think that, suppose you have joined a new company, and or maybe you're not joined, you will be joining a new company. So there is a process, right? HR will reach out to you, or recruiter will reach out to you. They will ask you for certain documents. They will be sharing offer letter, or they will be asking documents related to your income tax, related to your address and everything. So what I know, I mean, right now there are a lot of tools or lot of processes are already set up, but before 5 years, or if I talk about the times before 5 years, so they will be reaching out to you. Either they will call you, they will put it on email, they will ask for the documents. And from there only, that is how they are maintaining. They will be having an Excel, they will be noting down what all information is there. Maybe all these documents they will be saving in their local laptop and local drive, right? But nowadays, every process has changed, right? Maybe when they are trying to call you, you might not pick the call, or maybe you're busy somewhere else. And then in this process, sometimes they even forget the candidate, right? This has been the pain points. But nowadays, you see, there is a complete transformation. The transformation has come into the process. Like, there will be a portal. They will ask you, they will be sharing a link, and they will ask you to provide your information, update your details, update your documents on that portal. And from there only, HR can communicate with you. Maybe they want to set up a meeting, they can share the link with you. You will be going into the portal, and you will be appearing for the interview. And after the selection, they will be sharing offer letter. So there is a portal, there is a process, there is uh, a standard workflow, how it works. So you understand how as is and to be works. So you need to understand what exactly they are doing today, what exactly they want to do tomorrow. Okay. So these things will help you, or will make your core or your base very important and understandable when you're working in this project. Then, uh, s- as I was explaining, that all of these, this example of which I just mentioned is applicable in the next slide. So this is my next slide, that BA in digital transformation. So all of the projects that you will be part of, or you will be seeing there, is majorly covering a digital transformation from manual to digital. They are transforming, they're improving process. And what business outcome they're looking on, they're looking on making the process efficient, uh, 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 reducing the cost, and they want to increase customer satisfaction and bring in customer delight, right? So with ServiceNow, you can convert those manual workflows into automated digital workflow. And what exactly digital workflow looks like is we will be covering in our ServiceNow phases when we'll start. So you will understand all of these things. So for now, we are focusing more on the functional part, what exactly BA would be doing, right? If I move to the next slide. So if I, on a very high level, these are the different phases, right? And what all you will be doing, your responsibilities would be. First is a discovery phase, wherein you would be communicating uh, with the stakeholder, who is giving you the requirement. You would want to gather and analyze requirement. For example, if I want to improve HR process, I would want to have an meeting with HR. There can be an interview with HR, there can be a workshop with HR. So you want to understand what are the onboarding process or onboarding steps. That is how you will understand their as is process, right? Then you will be doing analysis, you will be documenting their processes, you will be understanding their pain points, right? You can create a process diagram, and based on that, understanding the process and everything, you will get to know what they want to do in the future state, that is to be model. Workflow design. So we'll create a workflow for how you want to do in the future. Then you will start with the implementation. Right here, you will be having your developers, testers, and architects who will be validating how to use ServiceNow to fulfill the requirement from your customer. Like if they want to create a HR onboarding process, how am I going to take this requirement in ServiceNow? Or how am I going to fulfill that requirement in ServiceNow? You have understood the requirement. Now we will be delivering with the ServiceNow. After they have created a working model in development environment, then there is a validation. Validation is wherein who has given you the requirement would like to do a testing. This is UAT, means user acceptance testing. Here user would like to accept whether you have developed is working or not working. And once they feel that whatever they have mentioned is working as per the criteria, then they will provide a sign off, and then you can move it to the production, and then they will be working. So right now these lingos, like what is development environment, what is production environment, might be new for you if you're from non-technical background, but do not worry, it is just a different environments. Like development environment is where you are developing, you are doing coding. Production environment is where actually you are using. Prod is the one which is live environment. Okay, that is what we call it, production environment. As a BA, uh, whenever you are in this starting phase, first, second, and third, when you are connecting with your client or with the other stakeholders, you would always want to understand why before you understand how. It means, for example, here in case of HR onboarding, first if they tell you that they want to improve, so you ask them, why do you want to improve? What is the drive, right? Why they want to change the process? Because if they are explaining you the process and pain points, well and good, most of your answers will come from why, right? Some clients may not tell you the upfront about their pain point. They will just tell you that I want to change this thing, right? So you would want to understand why do they want to change it. Because 15 to 20% time you will understand that the requirement they are giving is not even required, right? So you would always want to understand why they want to change it, and then you want to focus on how they how the process would look like. Then you will be fulfilling that requirement through ServiceNow implementation, ServiceNow development, and you will progress to the next phases. So these are your key responsibilities as a BA in the different phases of a project. Okay. Then deliverables, as I mentioned in the starting, that there are certain deliverables that you will have to provide. First is your business requirement, wherein it's a document which tells about the business needs, what are the business goals, what is the summary of the requirement, and what all tools are there, everything. And then comes your functional requirement document. It is more about what is expected from the service now, how system will be behaving, how the working would be. And then, as we mentioned, user stories are a small component. This is for the developer who will be developing the requirements. So these are the components of your requirement. Then is your process flows. Process flow is everything. If you would want to share anything with your client, the statements will not always be fruitful. You always want to draw a picture. For example, if I come here, like if it is about user onboarding, right? So you would want to create a process like uh, this can be one block, this can be another block, this can be third block, fourth block, right? And so on. So you will mention that this is my step one, and then step two, and then there can be certain decisions as well, so it is called like point A to point B. So you might have to create some diagrams, how this will be working. So this is what your process flow diagram would look like. So we'll do a working session on how to create a process diagram. We'll understand one or two tools, how to use them, how to create diagrams, and how to convert the requirements that client is sharing into a working diagram. For it is easy for you to explain it to the business, and it is easy for developers to understand on a very high level how the process would look like. Okay, so this is your process flows. Then UAT scenarios, when you have then the when a development is completed. So you want to understand, there are certain process or there are certain scenarios how to test it. So you can do a negative testing, you can do a positive testing. For example, if I tell you a very simple requirement, right? You must be having your account on Gmail. Wait, Gmail. So how do you log in into it? That you will go to the login page and you will enter your username and password, right? Now, the testing could be, suppose your developer has built this page and it is working. So one of the scenario is positive, right? So what you will do, you will write your username like abc@gmail.com. Okay. And then the password you will mention maybe ABC123 and something like this. Okay. So your password is done. So once you click on submit, you will be logged in. This is positive test case that you have taken a case and it is working. Then there is a negative scenario. Negative scenario could be maybe I am not putting the domain name. I am just simply adding ABC or maybe some random numbers, and then I will be entering a passcode, some wrong passcode, like which is not the correct one. And now I want to see whether it will work or not work. And if it doesn't work, what message it will give me, right? So this is negative testing. So you want to create the different scenarios while you have completed your development work. So that will give you a validation that tomorrow if it breaks, right? So whether this development or the requirement that you have completed is working or not working. Right. So these are the scenarios that you will give, that I want a positive testing, I want a negative testing. And then you might be asked to provide training materials and SOP, because you have created this requirement. You understand how it works from point A to point B. So you might be asked to create a training material, maybe wherein you want to mention that you log into ServiceNow, go to this module, click on create new, you will be able to create it, you can submit it. So just like a SOP, like how do you operate. So it can be SOP, it can be training material. So it is usually that is expected from a BA. So we'll also understand how to create these training materials. It is very easy, but still we'll understand how it works, right? Now, we might be having a question, then how, there is a BA and then there is a ServiceNow BA. What exactly is the difference between these two BA? How ServiceNow BA is different from a BA, as in a regular BA. Okay. If I talk about, the different aspects, so first is the focus. You this BA service now, regular BA with focus just on requirements and documentation. As a ServiceNow BA, you would be focusing on requirements and documentation. In addition, you would be looking at what is the process design, how the process looks like, and how you're going to optimize it. Because ultimately, through ServiceNow, you can automate that process, right? So you would want to understand how you can optimize. Second thing is engagement. Here, stakeholders and product owners are there, but in ServiceNow BA, you would want to connect with the process owners. Like because you would want to understand the process. So you would like if I talk about HR onboarding, so you will be connecting with the HR person who would be telling you the process, because that HR is a process owner, right? Then you have platform architects who would understand that how this process would fit into ServiceNow. So they'll help you with architect. So these process owners and platform architects are your help. They will be helping you with designing the to be process, right? Then if I talk about deliverables, I mean, these are almost same like BRD, FRD user stories, but here we are more towards process maps, how the to be workflows looks like, right? Solution design. So we'll talk about these process maps and workflows, how it works, right? And in ServiceNow, can we please? Okay. Okay. Let's make slide. Okay. Now, last part is in service now. So BA would just focus on, how it will work. They might be having some other platform, or they would be simply using some coding or other language that they would want to build the requirement on. But in service now, you just want to ensure that which module you will be using, right? And then and it's what is the best practices that are there. So as a BA, you just the voice of business, but as a ServiceNow BA is more about the process. What process you will be using to optimize or helping your customer, right? Now, in a regular project that is there for a service now, what exactly you would be doing as a PA is you would want to identify their manual processes. You would connecting with the SMEs and end users, and you will be gathering the requirement. You will work with developers, architects, and you will see how you're going to which module is a perfect fit to deliver those requirements. You will be validating the solutions by test cases. You would support go live and user training, as in once the project is live, it is in the production. So there might be some issues in this initial 1 month or 15 days or maybe 2 weeks. So in that phase, you might be supporting the client, that if they have any issue or any defect, they can raise it and you will be working on it, right? Now, this example, you might see, this a BA is working on an ITSM project. He will be gathering requirement for incident management. He will be defining the priority logic, ensures that proper workflow implementation is working. Right now, these things might be new to you and might be foreign to you. You might not be able to understand what is ITSM, what is incident management, what is workflow, what is priority logic. But the example why I'm quoting it here, just remember this example, and we'll see after a month or maybe after 6 or 7 weeks, you will exactly know what is an ITSM project, how you are going, what is incident management, what is priority logic, and what is workflow. So this is the kind of confidence I want to instill in you, that once we are through, I mean, almost 60 to 70% of our training, you would be able to understand these things. And this is exactly what is needed from a ServiceNow BA, that you understand what the client says, that I want, suppose the client will say that I have certain issues. I have created a product and I have certain issues coming up. Or maybe my company is facing issues from my employees on daily basis, like there are some password issues. They are not able to access particular application and everything. So you quickly understand that this is a case wherein he is asking for tickets to be raised, right? And then someone should be able to resolve that ticket. And how am I going to deliver it? I would be, so there is an ITSM in ServiceNow. Through ITSM, I have incident management. So they can raise incident, and once the incident is raised, there would be someone who would be assigning that ticket to themselves, incident to themselves, and that person would be resolving the ticket, right? And now there can be different priorities, like there can be certain issues wherein I want a quick resolution. There are certain issues I can wait for a day or two, and then there are some issues I can wait for 3 days, right? So this is what the priority is. So how can I define the priority? I can define it in incident management. And how the workflow would look like once the incident is created, then someone would be accepting the incident. He will start working on it. If he has some issues, he might reach to the person who created the incident and ask more information. Then he will be resolving the issue or resolving the incident. So this is how a workflow would look like. So this is what you will be able to do it after at least minimum 7 to 8 weeks. After we have completed that period, you will be able to do these things. You will be able to understand the requirement, and you would be able to see how the process would be working from point one to point uh, other, and then second point. So as a BA, there are certain skills that you are required. First is you should be having understanding of ServiceNow admin, understanding of ServiceNow module, familiarity with agile tools, and process modeling. So this is your technical skills. And then there are soft skills, like you should be able to communicate, right? That the language that one person is, they are communicating with you, you should be able to understand their thoughts, and at the same time, you should be able to deliver your thoughts, right? So you should be able to understand from where they're coming from. You should be able to manage stakeholders, and your mindset should be, if they're coming up with the problem, how to solve that issue. Maybe if they're giving you a one way, if that is not working, you might figure out other way. How am I going to work on that problem? So these are two skills, technical and soft skills. And then there are functional skills that we will be learning through this particular phase. ServiceNow BA, right? We will know how to create process, or how to work on the different modules, right? The functional part that you will be understanding is more on the tools that we are, or the application that we will be learning. Like it can be ITSM, so you want to have a functional knowledge of ITSM, how incident management works, how a problem management work, how change management work. So having skills of these three areas, like technical, soft skill, and a particular module, will make you successful ServiceNow BA, and you will be able to deliver the ask from the customer. So if I tell you a quick summary and key takeaways from this session, first we learned about what exactly a BA does, right? What is the focus? That the focus is on process understanding, requirement clarity, user validation, and how ServiceNow ensures that workflow deliver real business outcomes. We want to learn. We want to learn to think in process rather than just features. I want to understand how a certain process that customer is telling me, how am I going to use that process in ServiceNow and give a fulfilling result to my customer. That is what the customer delight is. So at the end, a simple quote I want to end this session, that a great BA doesn't just gather requirements. You are not just there to talk to the client and understand the requirements, but you would want to uncover the opportunity to make a greater process for your client, so that they not only uh, go into a different state wherein it is easy for them to understand, but they are also reaping benefits. They are having cost saving. there is a customer satisfaction. So you want to uncover opportunities, right? It's not just gathering requirement, it is like you are uncovering the opportunities to help them, right? So with this, I would like to mention that this is what I want to start with the BA fundamentals, just a quick roles and responsibilities. And in next classes, we will be sharing certain assignments with you that you will have to complete, and we might be doing certain demos in the class, right? And the next class would be on Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. and we'll see you in this next class. Before that, if you have any questions, you can ask me, and I would pass it over to Sudesh if Sudesh want to conclude uh, on this session.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you so much for the wonderful first session. And so, what we're going to do now is open the floor for some questions because I see some of them have not attended our webinar. You may have some questions, so you can start shooting your questions one by one. Please use your raise hand emoji at the bottom of your screen so that we can come to you and we can start the question right now. So we will open the floor. We're going to take Q&A for another 15 minutes before we close the sessions. Go ahead, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask now. Go for it.
Okay, I think Afrin, okay, you've already answered. I want to see the skills slide one more time. Skills slide, okay. Let's go to the skills slide. Okay, this one you're saying?
Yes, Nishant.
Yes, Afrin, please. Your question.
Yeah. So yeah, like I know like Jira is like as a tool where we just like enter the information and like you know okay, so this is in development now and we move that or that particular task into staging and then into production. So is it just like a Trello kind of tool, or is it like more of the technical things, like we get to learn more on the Jira?
Uh, See, there is a tool. Jira can be used in multiple ways. But if I talk about top two a domain where it is used, one is for Agile, wherein you will be writing the user stories, and from quite some days, I have seen that it has been used in ITSM as well, service management. But here, when I mention that it is about Agile tools, it means that how we will be using Jira to create user stories. User stories are basically the components of your requirement. This is for
Yes,
developers to
correct.
understand how to work on it. Or I'll show you how this how to write a user story. Then you will be able to map with this Jira, and Confluence is more towards your documentation, right? Jira is more towards gathering the requirement. But if I can tell you one more thing, that certainly there is Jira and Confluence, but in ServiceNow, like 60 to 70% of the time, customer will prefer using the ServiceNow tool itself. And I will be covering that as well, that how you're going to use ServiceNow. In ServiceNow, there is a module called Agile. In Agile, you can write these user stories. And also we have a project document wherein you can store these documents. So we will be doing both. So in case um, in a project, it is Jira, you know how to work on Jira. And if it is not Jira, suppose if it is ServiceNow, so you know how to work on ServiceNow as well. But if you understand any one of the tool, tomorrow, if the client even brings Azure DevOps, there is Azure DevOps as well, ADO, right? There also you can do this agile and stuff. So if you understand one tool, now tomorrow you bring it any other tool, you know how to work on it. The concepts are same. Rest there will be just 5 to 10% change in the terms, but you will be able to figure out because you after completing this one project, after completing this training, you will have that mindset to understand that if it works here, the concept, it can work anywhere. Are we
Okay.
good with this?
Yes, Nishant. Thank you
Okay,
so much for your
thank you.
explanation.
Nishant,
Okay.
Surya has a question in the chat. You might
Okay.
want to elaborate that. You might want to elaborate that.
Will we work in a ServiceNow instance? Do you provide projects that simulate real client implementation? Yes, we will be having a PDI that is called Person Developer Instance, but that will come after our phase one is over. Right now, we will be just telling you how ServiceNow BA, what are the roles and responsibilities. So tomorrow, when I will be explaining certain scenarios, so you can connect the dots, right? Yes, you will be having a PDI. I will guide you on the steps how to create your PDI and all the assignments that I will be sharing with you. You or in the class itself, I will be showing you, I will be demoing you those topics. So you will know how to work on them, and you will be expected to work on those topics that we will be discussing in the class in homework. That will be your homework. So yes, you will be having a ServiceNow instance.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you, Suresh.
Okay, you're
Good
welcome. I
question,
think there
Surya and
is,
Ikra.
I think Anmol is
Any other
asking. Yes, Anmol.
questions?
Uh, are you going to provide this slideshow in some format like email or something? So, we
Mhm.
don't
So
need to
Amol,
write down.
all these recordings, we don't share the slides because it's part of a huge PowerPoint. What you want to do is we share the recordings of every session. You can take a screenshot from there. And you might want to have a deck and you can save it there, but we don't share it such. We share the recordings. You will be having access to a learning management system where you will have access to the recordings. We will be sharing a lot of documents, templates, and all the stuff. Okay. Please mute yourself, guys. Okay. So, but what you want to do is take a screenshot from the recordings. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Jatin, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question regarding the BA. Is there like a difference between the Scrum Master and a BA, or they are like doing the same role?
You want to go ahead, Nishant?
Sure. So Jatin, see, there is a difference between Scrum Master and a BA. Yes, because Scrum Master will be just looking at the sprints, what all we want to cover and everything. But in sprint you have stories, and stories are coming from requirements, and requirements are coming from client. So before we reach to the sprint, all of the journey from talking to the client, gathering the requirement, converting that requirement into user stories is what BA will be doing. Okay,
Scrum
so
Master
this is what
also.
the sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that is what the job of BA is. Scrum Master will focus more on what are the tasks and the timely completion of the task and sprint. They would be having their ceremonies wherein they want to have sprint planning, then there will be sprint retrospective, right? Daily Scrum calls and all those things. But BA will be talking to the client and understanding this. Now, having said that these two roles are different, now, there can be a scenario in a project wherein they can club these two roles. As in, suppose the project says, or maybe a client says, I do not have budget to pay separate cost for BA and separate cost for BA or for Scrum Master. So in that case, there might be that, a BA might play a role of Scrum Master, but otherwise, if client is okay paying separate cost for BA and Scrum Master, then you will see two different person. Otherwise, it can be same as
So, do we need a extra certification for Scrum Master?
well. Sudesh, would you like to take that?
To support the BA job, we will need a Scrum Master certification, and you can take that from International Scrum Institute. Is only 50 USD. It's a must. Okay, to support the ServiceNow knowledge, we will take the Certified ServiceNow Administrator certification. So these two certifications we do need before we go into the job market.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And a couple of questions in the chat. One from Henry. Is this the same ServiceNow software that is used by other professionals? Example, cybersecurity, uh, I can see the word GRC professionals. Will we be taught the three modules you mentioned under the technical skills for BA? Yes, Nishan.
Is this the same ServiceNow software that is used by? Um, this is Henry, right? So Henry, see, it all depend. Yes, same ServiceNow can be used by different professionals, and this is a widely accepted tools. So consider that, all the Fortune 500 companies, almost all the companies are using ServiceNow. Now, ServiceNow has different domains, or not domain, I would call different modules, right? One of the module is ITSM. The other module is, as I mentioned, CSM, HRSD. There is FSM. So HRSD, as the name suggests, it's related to HR. FSM is more about field service management. And when you talk about GRC, ServiceNow has GRC module as well. Okay. So yes, if the company is using ServiceNow and they're using GRC professional, definitely yes, this is the tool. But there are other tools as well in the market that are for GRC specific. Like for CRM, we have Salesforce, right? So similarly for ServiceNow, which is widely known for ITSM, right now it is making its way into different modules like HRSD is there, FSM is there, GRC is also there. So it depends on the client. If client is using GRC using ServiceNow for GRC, yes, you will be seeing cybersecurity consultant would be using ServiceNow GRC. If not, then the other tool depends. So it totally depends on the consumption of that particular organization. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah,
Nishan, we have a question from Ravina, Monica, and Alija.
Okay, let me quickly cover this. What is the difference between BA and product owner? Okay, so BA, these 2, 3 roles are, it's like a Venn diagram, this product owner, then Scrum Master, and ServiceNow Business Analyst. Certainly, there is a difference, but there are certain. It all depends on the company what they want to call. For example, if I talk about product owner, it is just for the particular product. For example, I can have a product owner for ServiceNow specific. He just knows ServiceNow, right? And I can have a product owner for Snowflake. He knows about my product end to end. And I can have an inbuilt product in my company. So I will be product owner of that. So on a very high level, product owner knows what exactly the direction would be for that service. For example, if it is about a Snowflake, he knows that what exactly I want to do in ServiceNow. Now BA understand that take the requirements on if they want to do some process, if they want to change anything, then BA will come into the picture who will take the requirements from the client and work on it. So that is what your product owner and BA would be. Now you're saying how does a BA general differ with technical BA? Technical BA will go into more details and you will know what are the technicalities in my upcoming classes when I will be discussing about ServiceNow admin and ServiceNow ITSM. Technical BA will get into the details like, one of the slides I mentioned that they do not code, right? It doesn't mean that in technical BA will be coding, but they will be understanding those code. For example, you want to integrate with other module, like which integration method will be used and will it be SOAP, REST, API. So you would be getting more details from that onwards. So technical BA might have to do little bit of technical stuff, but as a just BA, as in ServiceNow BA, you are more specific towards your functional part. Then I see, could you explain in short what is the difference between BA and okay, that is covered. Is a BA similar to project? No. BA is not similar to project management. But yes, certain activities BA can do for a project manager. But BA is not similar to project management. There is a huge difference. Project management just knows about what all resources you will need to complete the project and what are the timelines. How am I going to complete the project in this time? That is it. Nothing less than this, nothing more than this. I believe product owner fits just like type role for, okay, difference between just a type role for B, it's like a type. See, these you will be having a debate like product owner, BA, and Scrum Master, right? There can be one more term. There will be two, three more types of role. But if I tell you very specific, like if you want just want me to want me to tell you what product owner is, then I can tell you in simple terms. You can call yourself a ServiceNow product owner if you know one particular domain end to end. Like you can be a product owner for GRC. I know there are colleagues, few of my colleagues who are working as ServiceNow product owner. But when I say product owner, they will be having a specialization. Like one of my friend is in ESG or GRC. So he knows like how GRC will work, what all so you do not then come to the client saying all the different things. You want to work on the strategy, you want to work on the path, but how that product will move into the different direction. That is what the product owner is. So but I would suggest not to go into these direction like product owner and other roles. For now, if you complete BA and tomorrow you want to navigate into different path, you certainly can do it. Any other question from anyone? I think we covered almost. What is the difference? Okay, this is covered. This is covered. This is covered. So this, I think we are good. We do not have any
Okay.
other questions.
Okay. Guys, you guys been such an amazing audience. And I want to tell you, most of you guys have connected with me, spoken to me, discussed about how to transition and all those good questions. That's good. This is what I would do if I were you. Okay, I do want to tell you the career in ServiceNow is in high demand. In ServiceNow world, if you go around and searching ServiceNow BA, you're not going to find anything. They are named as business process consultant, business process associate, ServiceNow functional engineers. They're named like that. So we have to go with the descriptions. Okay. You have to understand that these careers are not like visible out there. They go with different tags and designation according to the organization, but the activity is done as a B activity, which we will know. So these are known by, we know them, they are hot by their keywords. So this training is based on multiple keywords which are in hot demand right now. That's what you're going to learn throughout this program. Okay. So what you want to do is take advantage of this 3 sessions, which is happening on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come and learn more from me and Nishant. And at the same time, you want to reach out to us and have one-on-one conversation with us, ask more questions on how to transition in the career, and I'll be more than glad to connect with you and continue to discuss with that. So after this training, you'll go into certification phase, then you'll go into resume phase, then you will go into interview preparation phase. We're going to take you through all, and with our mock test, you're going to be just fine. All right. So the target is the job market will open after Jan 15th. So our goal is to finish the training by then and get you market ready. So that's what it is. Okay, with that, I don't want to keep you guys long, and I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys back on Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, and you all have a great day. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.